back again for another deep dive. And today, we're really going to get into how to, outthink the competition.
Outthink the competition.
Yeah, and it's a phrase you hear a lot, right?
Right, yeah.
But what does it actually mean, and how can we actually, use that to our advantage in everyday life, right?
Yeah.
Not just in, business or
Absolutely. And I think this isn't even about crushing rivals. It's more about just thinking differently.
Yeah?
To really get what you want, whether that's landing a job or finishing a creative project or even winning an argument with your partner.
Oh, winning an argument. I like that. Okay, so let's start with this idea. Context is king.
Right.
What does that mean?
It means zooming out and seeing the bigger picture.
Okay.
So think of it like this. You're trying to lose weight,
Yeah.
but you keep snacking late at night. Instead of just focusing on willpower, consider the context.
Okay.
Maybe you're actually stressed, not hungry, and you need better ways to unwind before bed. Changing the context often leads to more effective solutions.
It's like, don't treat the symptom, treat the cause kind of thing.
Precisely. Yeah. And speaking of changing the game,
Yeah.
let's talk about leverage points.
Leverage points. So
Yeah.
is that finding the one domino
Yeah.
that'll knock over the whole stack?
Exactly. It's about identifying the small chain
Okay.
that can create a ripple effect. Imagine you're trying to get your team to adopt a new software.
Right.
Instead of overwhelming them with features, focus on the one that solves their biggest pain point. That's your leverage point.
I see. So you're almost like hacking the system in a way.
In a way, yeah.
Okay.
By finding the pressure point.
Right.
One thing that...
That'll make everything else fall into place.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so we've got context is king and finding the right leverage points.
Right.
What else helps us outthink the competition?
Well, sometimes the most strategic move is to embrace what we might think of as a weakness.
Okay.
Ignorance.
I thought we were trying to outsmart people, not dumb ourselves down.
Right, well, think of it this way. Ignorance isn't a void, it's a blank slate. A child doesn't know that's how it's always been done.
Right.
So they ask why.
Yeah.
And they come up with totally new solutions.
Yeah.
We can tap into that by questioning assumptions and being open to new possibilities.
So it's that beginner's mind.
Exactly, yeah.
Sort of seeing things with fresh eyes.
Exactly. Now, once you've got a brilliant idea, how do you actually make it happen?
Yeah.
That's where simplicity comes in.
Okay, but isn't life complicated? How can we oversimplify things?
Well, it's not about ignoring complexity.
Okay.
It's about communicating clearly.
Okay.
Think about teaching someone a new skill.
Right.
If you overload them with jargon,
Yeah.
they'll get lost.
Yeah.
But break it down into simple steps and they'll learn faster. The same principle applies to pitching ideas,
Right.
giving presentations, even writing a compelling email.
So less is more, basically.
Precisely. Simplicity is sophistication.
I like that. Now, even with the best ideas,
Right.
we're bound to face rejection at some point, right?
Of course.
How can we turn that around?
See it as data, not defeat.
Hmm?
Think about trying to find a parking spot downtown. Each full lot
Yeah.
isn't a failure, it's information
Right.
that helps you narrow down your search.
Okay.
Rejection, whether it's a job application or decline date,
Right.
is feedback that helps you adjust your approach.
So it's like those wrong turns on the GPS.
Exactly.
Annoying,
It got
but ultimately
there.
they get you where you need to go.
Right.
Okay, so we've got rejection as data that's good. What about,
Well, just as valuable,
yeah,
though perhaps even more initially painful, is criticism.
criticism?
Yeah,
That's a tough one.
it is.
Everyone wants to be liked and praised.
Right.
How can we stomach that?
By realizing it can be a gift even if it comes wrapped in sandpaper. Think about receiving a bad haircut. You're upset at first, but then you learned to be more specific with your stylist next time.
Right.
Criticism, if we can detach our ego from it, reveals blind spots and helps us improve.
So instead of getting defensive, ask, what can I learn from this?
Precisely. Now let's talk about how to ensure our ideas are actually effective.
Okay.
It's not just innovative. That's where form follows function comes in.
Form follows function. I think I've heard that in design school.
It's a design principle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how does it apply to everyday life?
Think about a good winter coat. It's designed to keep you warm,
Yeah.
not just look stylish. The same principle applies to communication,
Okay.
problem solving, even relationships.
Hmm.
If you focus on the purpose first, the function, the form will naturally follow.
So we're being strategic, we're embracing simplicity, we're seeing rejection and criticism as opportunities,
Right.
and we're letting function dictate form. What else?
Well, in a world where technology is constantly changing, what's the one thing we can always rely on?
The human mind.
The human mind. It's the ultimate medium.
It's the constant.
It's the constant.
So understanding people, their motivations, fears, desires,
Yeah.
that will always be crucial no matter what new gadgets come along.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm liking this.
Good.
This is good stuff.
Right.
We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with more on how to outthink the competition.
Sounds good. So welcome back. Now that we've laid the groundwork, let's dive into some more advanced strategies for outthinking the competition.
I'm ready. What do we got?
Well, let's talk about predatory thinking.
Predatory thinking. That sounds kind of intense.
It's not about being ruthless or cutthroat.
Okay.
It's about being proactive and strategic. Think about a chess player. They're not just reacting to their opponent's moves, they're anticipating them,
Right.
planning several steps ahead, and constantly looking for opportunities to seize the advantage.
So it's about being in control, not just letting things happen to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a key aspect of predatory thinking is laser-like focus.
Focus, okay.
Mm.
But in a world of constant distractions,
Right.
how do we actually achieve that?
Imagine you're trying to learn a new language. You could dabble in dozen apps and courses, or you could dedicate yourself to mastering one.
Okay.
The latter approach, while seemingly slower at first, will ultimately lead to fluency faster.
So it's about quality over quantity, depth over breadth.
Precisely. It's about making conscious choices and saying no to things that don't align with our goals.
That reminds me of something we were talking about earlier, simplicity.
Yes.
By eliminating the clutter
Right.
and focusing on what truly matters, we create space for deeper engagement.
That's a great connection. Simplicity and focus are two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
They allow us to cut through the noise and achieve maximum impact. And speaking of impact, let's talk about the power of storytelling.
Storytelling. I thought we were talking about outsmarting the competition, not writing novels.
Think about the most persuasive people you know. They're not just reciting facts and figures.
Right.
They're weaving narratives that capture our attention and make us care. Whether you're pitching an idea, building a brand, or even just trying to connect with someone on a personal level,
Yeah.
storytelling is essential.
So it's about engaging people's emotions, not just their intellect.
Exactly. Remember that viral video you shared last week? It wasn't just informative, it made you laugh or cry or think differently about the world.
Yeah.
That's the power of a well-told story.
So we're being strategic, focusing on what matters, and then communicating our ideas in a way that truly resonates with people.
That's the essence of outthinking the competition. It's not about brute force, it's about finesse strategy and understanding the human element.
I like it.
Yeah.
Now, even with the best strategies in place,
Right?
we're bound to encounter setbacks, right?
Of course.
How do we handle those inevitable bumps in the road?
Well, earlier we mentioned that rejection is data.
Yeah.
Does that apply to setbacks as well?
I don't know, does it?
Absolutely. Think about learning to ride a bike. You probably fell a few times before you mastered it, right? Each fall wasn't a failure. It was a lesson that helped you adjust your balance and technique.
So setbacks are like those practice swings that make us better hitters
Exactly.
in the long run.
They provide valuable feedback that helps us refine our approach and build resilience. And you know what else can be incredibly valuable?
What's that?
Even though it's often uncomfortable.
You're going to say criticism, aren't you?
You got it.
Yeah.
Criticism, while sometimes painful, can be an incredible tool for growth.
Okay, I'm trying to keep open mind here. But how do we make sure criticism is actually helpful
Right.
and not just hurtful?
Think about getting feedback on a presentation. Your initial reaction might be to get defensive, but if you can detach your ego from the criticism
Yeah.
and focus on the message,
Okay.
you might discover valuable insights that help you improve your next presentation.
So separate the message from the messenger,
Oh.
even if the delivery isn't ideal.
Precisely. Think of it as a doctor giving you a diagnosis. You might not like what you hear, but it's essential information for treating the problem. Criticism, when viewed objectively, can be just as valuable.
All right, we are back for the final part of this deep dive. I'm ready for that secret sauce.
Yeah.
You know, the thing that's really going to push us over the edge to really outthink the competition.
Let's talk about something that often gets overlooked in the pursuit of individual brilliance.
Okay,
Teamwork.
teamwork. I get that it's important.
Yeah.
But how does that fit into this whole outthinking thing? Aren't we trying to stand out from the crowd?
Think about a successful sports team.
Right.
They might have star players, but they win championships because they work together seamlessly, each member contributing their unique strengths. The same principle applies to any field.
So it's like if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Exactly. When we collaborate with others, we tap into a collective intelligence and creativity that's far greater than what we could achieve on our own.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But like in a fast-paced world, we often feel pressure to get things done quickly.
Yeah.
How do we balance that need for efficiency with like the need for teamwork and collaboration?
Yeah.
It's about understanding that sometimes the most efficient solution isn't always the most effective one. Think about planning a surprise party.
Okay.
You could do it all yourself, but it's much more fun and less stressful to involve friends and delegate tasks.
So many hands make light work.
Precisely. By working together and leveraging each other's strengths, we can achieve more faster and have a better time doing it.
I like that. Okay, so teamwork is key. But how do we make sure we're not just working hard, but working smart? How do we like inject creativity into the mix?
Think about those DIY projects that turn out amazing.
Yeah.
They often involve using everyday objects in unexpected ways, like turning old pallets into stylish furniture.
So it's about looking at things with fresh eyes.
Yeah.
And finding those creative solutions that might not be immediately obvious.
Exactly. Remember, the human mind is a powerful tool. It's capable of incredible ingenuity and resourcefulness if we give it the space to play and experiment.
This has been great. We've covered so much from the importance of context and simplicity to the power of storytelling and teamwork and like this enduring relevance of the human mind. But before we wrap up, is there one final piece of advice you want our listeners to take away from this deep dive?
Remember this, you are not just a player in the game.
Okay.
You can be the game changer.
Yeah.
You have the power to rewrite the rules and achieve your goals no matter how audacious they may seem.
I love that. So it's a reminder that we all have that potential to like make a real impact.
Absolutely. So go out there, embrace the challenge, and outthink the competition, and maybe even yourself.
And remember, the journey itself is just as important as the destination. So enjoy the ride and keep learning and growing along the way. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time.